Hello everyone, I'm gonna talk about Sidney Poitier, the first black man to win an Oscar. Firstly, I choose this person because he is probably one of the first famous actors to fight for the black people's rights with the instrument of cinema. In 1964, he received his first cinematic prize, the Oscar for the film Lilies of the Field. As tradition, he was called on the Hollywoodian stage to make a speech. He was very thankful to the Academy and to all the people who worked with him, and added that it was a long journey to arrive there. He has played in a lot of different films, but I will only talk about two of them. First is In the Heat of the Night, released in 1967. In a little town of South USA, there was a murder. The captain of the police district, Bill Gillespie, orders to find a possible suspect. Two agents find Virgin Tips, Sidney Poitier, a black man who was waiting for the train. He is brought immediately without explanation to the police station. At the beginning, the captain accuses Virgil to be the murderer, but then he discovers that Mr. Tibbs is one of the best private investigators in Philadelphia. So Bill decides to ask Virgil's help to solve the case. In the first moment, the two of them haven't a good relationship, but as time passes, they start to have respect for each other, and in the end, they solve the case. There is a scene that impressed me when Mr. Tibbs is interrogating a possible suspect, Mr. Endicott, who feels outraged about that and slaps in the face Virgil, who responds immediately with another slap. Then Mr. Endicott say this quote that I reported in the presentation. There was a time when I could have had you shot. And I think that for a film released in the 60s, this scene had a huge impact on the spectators. Okay. The second film is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, always released in 1967. This film is a comedy and is more humoristic than the other film. So, the story. The protagonist is Joanna, an American white girl who has gone on vacation to Hawaii. There, she falls in love with John Prentice, a black man who is a famous doctor, who is, of course, interpreted by Sidney Poitier. Joanna insists to introduce his new boyfriend to her parents. At first, both of them are full of prejudice and are worried about the future of the couple. But then they finally understand how much John and Joanna are in love, so they will approve their union, and they would have to convince also John's parents about the relationship of the two youngsters. There are two quotes in particular which I consider very important. The first one is when John talks about Joanna with her parents. He explains that he falls in love with her because she loves him for what he is. The quote is, she doesn't seem to see there is any difference between us. So for me, this is a beautiful message. The other one is when John talks with his father about the old generation of black people. You think of yourself as a colored man, I think of myself as a man. This make people think a lot because first of all we are all men. It doesn't matter which color is your skin or in which part of the world you live, and it doesn't matter if we have a different culture. We are all equals in the end. Okay, I finished my presentation. Thanks to the attention.